Live from Julian's basement, it's podcadzo. You give us an hour, and we'll give you the world. The world consisting primarily of YouTube references and Steely Dan trivia.
I just love that podcast.
It's podcadzo.
Okay, I'll try not to overdo it.
No, I think you should.
I think you already have.
Well, this was just the test. We haven't started yet. Let's start now. How about it?
Okay.
Julian, you
Why am I
do the honors
nervous?
today.
You want me to do the honors? No, you have to do the intro.
Okay. I'd be honored to. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Podcadzo, the official companion podcast for the well-known indie rock band Kadzo. And today we have a very special episode because we are joined by none other than the band Foreign Words.
This is why I started just do it in post.
This is why I wanted you to do it, so I would have time to cue up the sound effects.
No, I can't just suddenly take over the thing that has clearly been yours this whole time.
I'll work out the kinks.
Every time I say anything during the intro, normally he's like, "Yeah, you're stepping on my intro." Meh, meh, meh.
Well, speaking of stepping on my intro, you just did it. So
Yep,
let me
I
just
ruined it
hand
again.
it over to you guys. If the band could introduce themselves, starting with you.
Well, I'm Julian. You already know me. I'm in the band Kadzo. I play the mouth harp. I'm also in the band Foreign Words with these two fellas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that sums it up.
That
Who are
was
you?
a hard F there.
I'm Will. I guess I slap bass if we're using that kind of terminology. I'm also in Kadzo, strangely enough. So, some double dipping is occurring here for sure.
Indeed.
My name's Robert. I am the vocalist and guitarist for Foreign Words, and I am not in Kadzo. And I don't want to be in
I
Kadzo.
was going to say, not by our choice. By his own volition, he's not in Kadzo. So, guys, great to have you on
Thanks
the
for
podcast
having us.
Thank you.
today. It's been a long time coming. We've had Robert on before. That was an early episode.
Yes.
What did we talk about? I think that was
It was
Jack
a White Stripes.
Yeah, White
That's
Stripes.
right.
Yeah.
We've tried to get Will on the pod.
Will
but
has
he thinks
said many
podcasts are
times.
stupid.
Yeah, Will has said many times that he will never do the
And
podcast.
hey, it's 100% something we know already.
So hey, he's
Well,
here.
I lied, I guess.
Especially this podcast.
Is he
But
too
It's great
quiet?
to have you here.
I might be too quiet.
His microphone does sound a little muffled.
Well, you want to fix that or something?
Well, it might just be talk again.
I think it's just my mush mouth. Excuse me.
Your level is healthy, so I feel like I can.
Okay,
Play with it.
this
Do
is the one
something
with a
with it in
dent on it,
post.
so maybe it's...
That's the mic I used to sing into, so I hope it's not the microphone.
Give it a
So that's my
4K shelf or
pride.
something.
Enjoy, yeah. And
Are
I
you
think there's
sniffing it?
oh, you know the other thing. There's EQ on this channel. It's just the EQ that's on the channel, I
Yeah,
believe.
got you.
But the output to the DAW or to the recording
Okay.
is pre that.
We've spent too much time already talking about this.
This is a
We're
music
throwing
podcast.
off-
We're going to talk a lot about
Edit it in
production
post.
today.
Edit
that's
it in
true.
post.
No, what we're actually going to talk about is the fact that you guys just put out an album, which is fucking dope.
Thank you.
And here's what the people are saying about the album. Oh, they love it.
I was going to say, I
love
didn't
it.
know anybody said anything about
America. That's the sound of America.
Last time I saw, the only reviews were your reviews. So
Well, whose voice matters more than mine?
I think that you
You have
are kind of
music
setting the
industry
tone.
professional.
Yeah, you're setting the tone for.
No, it's not only because I played a small part in the tracking of the album. Just to get that.
Immediately makes
out.
it about
I was
himself.
just saying, just
Love
to get that
that.
out of the way immediately.
Fucking guy.
I'm not blowing smoke just because of that. It's genuinely a fucking amazing album. I'm listening to it a lot because I want to, because it's great music.
Thank you,
Because I
brother.
love the songs. The production is fantastic. And we really need to get the people on board with this album.
I agree.
And you guys are aware of the podcadzo bump phenomenon?
Yes.
I'm not actually.
Well, you're about to be aware, Robert, because you're going to experience
Our
it
lives
in
are gonna
full
change.
effect.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
You're ready for that
Looking forward to
podcast
it.
bump.
Oh, yeah.
So right out of the gate, let's plug the album. Please say the name of the band, the name of the album, where you can stream it.
We are Foreign Words. We just released an album, our second LP, called All That Glitters. It is available on Bandcamp, all streaming services. Will be available for a physical release soon. And
Amazing.
yeah, wherever you want it, you can get it.
Mm-hmm.
Go support the bros on Bandcamp.
Yeah, it's
And you get
it's free.
96K high quality
$24.96. Yep.
Yep.
download of
2.5
Start
gigs.
to finish.
Yep.
So I'm exclusively streaming the digital download on my hi-fi system at home.
There you
That's
go.
how I consume it.
Nice.
you go.
I won't listen to it any other way. I did listen in my car in Apple Music, and it sounds great there too. Sounds good in the car, which is
Yeah.
great.
Hell yeah.
So you guys have been working on this album for a little bit.
Very
Just-
long time.
Let's talk about that. When did we, I'm inserting myself again, start the recording of this album?
Well, I think in my mind, it starts with the demos. What about you guys? Because we kind of spent like a fair bit of time on demos.
Yeah, I found some voice memos on my phone of, I think it was Black Chuck's from like almost 4 years ago. So it's been a long time in the making of the writing part. And then we were tracking demos for about 6 months.
Yeah.
In late 2023.
And it's been 5 years since your first album?
It'll be
6
six.
years?
It'll be 6
Was
in
that
October.
2020?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Definitely a bit of a slow release strategy for most people, considering
We
like,
take our time with things,
yeah,
usually.
most people try to get their sophomore out like really quick, but I think that's why most people's sophomore albums kind of fucking suck, to be honest. So
They rush it.
yeah, take the time, make it good. I think that's kind of like where the headspace was at. And also, I think that the demo process helped us in a lot of ways make, even though a lot of things changed, it kind of helped to make the recording, at least for me, a little bit easier, because I kind of went into the recording with a pretty solid idea of what I was going to do for all the songs. So it was like worth taking the time to do that, which our first LP, we
raw dogged.
yeah, we did not really have a plan for, we had a plan for a decent amount of songs, but some songs there wasn't really as much of a plan, and there wasn't like a full demo process. So I think that this time around, like, that really helped with like the clarity of the record. That's why the record is a bit more like straightforward and pointed, and like there's not as much uncertainty about the songs.
I did admire your organization and preparedness coming into the recording process. Like, sat me down, played me the demos, told me exactly when you were going to track drums, how you're going to do it, how long it would take. And it was something you had obviously thought about, which was refreshing to see, because at that time with Cadzo, we were really just flying by the seat of our pants. Be like, you got 20 minutes today? Fuck, we got to record these drums. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, man.
Well, and
It'd be nice
Cadzo
to
is
actually
also
have a
still
plan.
like a new
Yeah,
band.
Cadzo was real
we
new
were
then.
figuring it out in a lot of ways.
Yeah. So was that 2024?
January of 24.
Yeah,
Yeah.
drums started in January.
And that was
Yeah.
the only part of the process that was put together, unfortunately. But
Yeah, well, I think we had a pretty solid thing going
Yeah.
for bass. We made a schedule, and we mostly stuck to the schedule. There were a couple times when we were a bit late with things, but
Late's relative.
yeah,
But I mean, to your point about the demo, maybe I'm wrong, but I think there's a fair bit of DNA of the original demos in the final sessions, anyways, because it's like same tempos. The clicks came from the demos. It's all pretty intertwined, actually.
none of the song structures changed like at all.
Yeah. No, I remember a lot from the demos, and yeah, I was comparing them as I listened to the finished version, and a lot of it was pretty fully formed there. The demo sounded pretty good too.
Yeah, there was
A lot
something
of bands
about
would have
those.
just been like, "That's the album."
Yeah, no, there's something
we
about
thought
those
about
demos
it.
where
We had a conversation or two.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, should we just
yeah.
put the 57s as overheads?
Yeah.
I'm glad that
57 on everything.
Yeah.
You could use it. You could record an album that way, and it sounded pretty good.
Sound all right,
yeah,
for
honestly.
sure.
My idea for the episode, Julian, I don't know if you thought anything else through, is I was just going to go through the tracks.
Nice.
and make you guys answer either what the song is about, which I know is a really annoying thing to ask and to answer. So you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You can also talk about the process of writing it and what the song means to you.
Hell yeah.
Or both. Okay. Is that a good plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of what I loosely was thinking.
Cool.
A little bit of a breakdown.
I'm not connected to the Wi-Fi.
Also, I guess one thing to mention, because it wasn't obvious already, much like the Cadzo universe, this record also did fully spawn out of this basement, this house. It's fully DIY.
Yeah.
Other than we had mastering help from Brad Boatwright at Audio Siege, and he's like a fucking professional. He definitely knows what he's doing. Oh,
Shit. I'm sorry.
fuck you, bro.
It's mastered a lot louder than my sound effects. So the first track is what I almost just deafened Robert with. IATTOS, which I'm going to hazard a guess is I am the consequence of sound.
Wow, you got
got
it. Dude, it's crazy.
Nailed it.
He did listen to it.
I'm not going to call anyone out. I'm not going to call anyone out specifically by name, but I have this homie at work who's been listening to the record and he really likes it. But the first time he told me about it, he was like, "Yeah, I really like IATKOS, but would you mind telling me what that is? Because I just don't think I picked up on it when I was listening to the song." And I was like,
It's literally the first
"It's the
lyrics in it,
first
isn't it?
words
Yeah.
of the song." It's pretty unmissable, but hey, I guess.
So it is a heavy track to start off with. Vocal performance-wise, probably the most aggressive track on the album.
Probably.
Yeah, that one's insane.
And then it opens up beautifully to the "I was only ever trying to sleep." It's kind of a journey of a song. First question before we get into either what it's about, what it means to you. What was the conversation around opening the album with that song like?
It was definitely Julian that wanted to push for that. Because I didn't want to put it as the first track at all.
What did you want as the first track?
What did I want as the first track? Do you remember that at all?
At some point, you had said American Beauty.
Oh, that's right. American Beauty.
Did you?
Yes.
Are you okay with it now that the record's
I think
out?
it's a very good. Yeah. No, I think you had the good foresight there. So.
It kind of involves the backstory of the song a little bit too. Not like what the song's about, but just like how the song came about in my mind. But also to break it down even more than that, like the way that the first record started and ended was, I would say, a bit more on the like chill side. The first song on the first record is like a build-up track where it like starts pretty chill and stripped back and like generally gets more hyped towards the end. But then like the last track of the first LP is like pretty much as like minimalist as it gets. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to have it be like pretty much just foundationally opposing how the first LP started. I thought it'd be cool to start fully constructed, like full balls to the wall sound, and like really get people's attention that way. And the more like how the song came about story is just kind of like in my mind, and I tend to misremember things, but in my mind this was like one of the first songs that we kind of like really solidified in the writing process when we were working on like writing all the tracks. And to me it, I guess, encapsulated like the energy of the writing sessions like the best out of all the tracks, if that makes sense. Like the drive and the like dynamic shift of the song kind of like in my mind was like the ethos for like what the rest of the tracks would become on LP2. So I thought like why not just start the record with like what really in my mind like started the record in a lot of ways.
Well put. I
Thanks.
fully understand.
Super long-winded.
And I agree.
Fuck yeah. Cool. You have to agree. If you don't agree with me, then there will be a very...
I'm 100% going to mostly disagree with you throughout the rest of the
what else
podcast,
is
so.
new, bud? Great
Well,
Oasis
exactly. You
shirt,
should-
by the way. They're great. They're a great band.
Thank you. They are. It was a good show.
Yeah, such a dynamic duo.
Yeah, Oasis, the famous duo. All right. What was the process? Okay. What is the song about, or how did you write it?
I'm probably not going to be too much help with those answers, but How did we write it?
Well, I was trying to like remember what the hell we did, so I was writing notes down, and I do believe that one codename EB and then one codename Iatkos were like the first and second songs that were of like the new writing cycle.
Sure.
So I do think that those two, which I believe are like the first two tracks on the album, right? Or am I wrong?
Bro, I already forgot.
They are.
I don't even know. Yeah, but so it's like the first two tracks that we wrote also ended up being the first two tracks that were in order, and I don't think that means anything per se, but I do think that like that style did. I mean, like Julian was saying, like define a lot of the next steps.
Yeah.
As far as like lyrical content, though, or anything like that, I think that would be like Robert's thing.
Which again, I will not make you talk about it if you don't want to.
No, I might open up a little more. It's always weird talking about that stuff because I think the meaning for me has changed since it's been written. And that one probably had lyrics way before any of the other tracks too. But kind of just an overarching theme of anxiety, defeat, feeling disenfranchised, kind of going into that stuff, past trauma stuff. But also, I think we just wanted to make like a really heavy song.
Yeah, I think like disenfranchisement is like a good word for like kind of a theme that appears across the record, at least in my mind. Like
Motif. If you
Yeah.
That's all I
Yeah.
could think about the whole time.
just like not only political disenfranchisement, but social disenfranchisement, feeling like unable to identify with society in a lot of ways. But also the original, like before the lyrics came along, the original like idea for the song was just like, well, maybe not even the original idea for the song, but like the joke of
Thrice.
the song was Thrices. Yeah, like
Yeah.
we just wanted to write a song that sounded like if a Thrice song and an ISIS song like collided somewhere in the middle. And I think that we like actually got there, especially on the ISIS side of things.
Thrices,
Like,
I like
yeah,
that.
I think that we scratched that itch in a lot of ways that we like weren't able to on LP1.
The way you do the talk vocals also kind of reminded me of some of the stuff Chat Pile does, where it
Oh,
gets
yeah.
super heavy
Nice.
and like really crazy guitars and like a nice solid talk vocal over it.
Yeah.
Production wise, it reminded me of that too. Dub track. What, to get back to the meaning, because I was trying to read into this a little bit, what does sound in this song mean to you? Like, how are you the consequence of it?
It's kind of a play on words. The way I write songs is I'll usually write the melody out first, something that fits the song. And I think that's a common thing that we tried to do. We didn't want to put too much personal attachment to things, except what was best serving for the song itself. So melody comes first, words come after. Sometimes they
Yeah.
don't mean that much at the beginning,
Brother, I feel you.
and then they kind of gain meaning as you come through it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely resonate with that.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was reading into it is I was wondering if it was like almost like kind of a desperate artist musician angle.
Hell yeah.
You know, like that you were someone who like loves music so much, has been writing music forever, and it like means a lot to you.
There you go.
And,
Yeah.
like has formed your emotions in some ways.
I think that's the cool thing about it. I think everybody that listens to it and gives it a fair shake will have their own kind of interpretation of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the beautiful thing because never thought about it that way.
I
But
think-
it's cool that you think about it that way.
It is. For me, it's like the consequence of sound is like we are, and this is like really like egotistical, I think, to say out loud, but like it's kind of like in my mind, us saying like we are the reaction to like our discontent with like the status quo, like especially with like music. Like I think a common thing with Foreign Words has always been like we want to do shit that is like not being done by anyone in our scene, and I think that it always feels like in a certain way like our shit is like reactionary to like what's happening in the scene. Like, oh, everyone's doing this thing that we don't like, so we're gonna like do this other thing and lean so hard in this other extreme that like it's just us being like, yeah, we are like the reaction to this discontent with like how shitty and lame music is these days, and how like little people actually try to do something fully genuine.
What a ridiculous answer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't agree with anything. Anyways,
Fuck you, dude.
No, well said. I'm just kidding. On to the second track. Emma, Where's Your Head? A contender of mine for favorite song.
Oh,
You
yeah.
guys know what mine is because I wrote it on your Bandcamp
Yes.
page, but this was up there as a contender.
It's one of my favorites too, actually. Turned out a lot better than, or not better. Turned out very much like the vision.
It's a great second song to have, especially after The Consequence of Sound, just to show the range of the album. And like people who are new to you listening to the first one are like, okay, it's a heavy album. Like, I'll buckle in for that.
Psych.
And then, yeah, Emma, Where Your Head comes on. It's like, whoa, these guys have range.
Well,
And this one has a lot of really catchy parts too.
Yeah, I think most bands spend some time on sequencing. Like we spent a lot of time on the Kadzo sequence, I would say, but we spent like a lot of time really considering the sequence for this record, I would say, and having like good open back and forths about like what would make the most sense for all the tracks.
Oh yeah.
Well, and I had a cool thought that kind of just came to me, which was even well before we started this songwriting cycle, Robert really wanted to write like a pop album. And I think on Emma, Where's Your Head and American Beauty and some of the other songs on the track, I do think Robert kind of kept that in his core of like trying to come at it from like a more pop produced angle while still maintaining a lot of like truth and songwriting and not necessarily, and like Julian said, I think like acknowledging the trends around us is a cool way to be outside of those trends as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was, I don't know, it's not obvious from listening to the song, but in this song there was like a section that I think we're calling like the dance section or something like that, or like the pop section at some point, because it like the goal was to make it like super catchy, like ear hooky, like straightforward 4 on the floor, just like groovy shit for a second, which I think LP1, our gut instinct was always to like lean away from that as much as possible. So
Right.
Yeah, there's like more 4 on 4. Sorry, 4. I can't talk. More of our songs are in 4 on this album, I think, than were on the first album entirely.
I actually have made a point of counting a lot of them just to be like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, they're staying in 4/4.
Yep.
this song is not though in 4/4.
No.
So
Actually, yeah,
Parts
that's
of it
funny.
are,
That's-
but-
Parts, yeah. The good parts.
yeah.
It's all good. I'm just kidding. Hell yeah. So, I guess we talked a little bit about the process of writing it, but anything you want to say about what it means to you, or how you came up with it?
Yeah, it's about kind of the deterioration of a close relationship with a friend and kind of the lessons that can be gleaned, but also exploring some of the emotion that comes in that, both the good and the bad. Mostly bad.
Cool. That's what I got from it as
Hell
well.
yeah.
And the lyrics, you had the lyrics like the whole time, right?
Had the lyrics for most of it. Some of it was a little bit, not improvised, but done a little bit later. That one probably has some of the more like, well, as I listen to them now, they all have a lot of meaning to me personally, but that one definitely had a bit more of intent behind it going into it. So
Hell yeah. All right. Into track 3. Still maybe my favorite bass part of all time to play and to listen to.
that's right. Forgot about
Thanks.
that.
Brain Damage. The song fucking rips.
It's a Willie song.
Thanks.
Was this song considered as the lead single over American Beauty at all?
I think it was the first
It was
single.
the lead single.
Oh,
that we
you're right, you're
released.
right.
Yeah.
You said you did your research.
I
mean, the
reversed it
singles,
in my head.
the
I
singles
reversed it
came
in
out
my
over
head.
a year ago. So.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been a minute.
They were more like
Um,
announcement singles.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brain Damage was the lead single, then American Beauty.
Yeah.
My bad.
It wasn't. It was kind of.
I think it's because it's like as straightforward as we got, because it's literally drums, bass, guitar with some vocals, and I don't think any other song is quite that cut and dry. Like, well, I guess some of the other rock songs, like like the second track as well. But
It also just sounded badass. Like when we were first starting the mixing process, it was like one of the first ones that you did a full mix on, and it just sounded so good that we were just like, we should just put this out as a single.
Yeah.
And I will say, like, in hindsight now, the people that have told me about the album, people that have listened to it, most unilateral response is that Brain Damage is their favorite track. So I think that it does have that single.
I think repeat
magic.
listens will reward other tracks as it has
Totally.
for me.
Yeah.
But
Try to
Brain
count that
Damage
one.
is definitely not a bad choice for favorite track.
It's an early one that just is memorable.
Yeah.
I guess.
This was the first kind of like completed one you sent to me, Robert. I remember.
Yes.
I was stoked to get it. I was like, damn, this sounds really good. I was like, especially because I was involved in the tracking with the drums, and I really liked the drum sound you had going on here, because I'd say a less nuanced producer would really like take the opportunity here to kind of over process the drums and do like arena rock style stuff for a song that's heavy, but you still have like a great room sound with the drums on this that still like fits the heaviness.
Thank you.
So hats off.
Yeah, it that one changed quite a bit from the single to the album. It's actually it's probably half the amount of plugins on the album version than there are on the single version, but they both shine in their own ways for sure. I think we were just trying to we were really tired of like listening to songs and even our own stuff. We're just like, there's no snare. And so I was like, all right, snare up 30 dB. Like, it's like what we want the main thing to be. So,
And like the snare sound is so dynamic and even changes like in songs. Like it will like change from, really like a tacky sound to like a more roomy sound in certain parts. So
yeah, that was a big concept of the album that we wanted to do.
Yeah,
Is there two snares on Brain Damage?
Only one snare
Only
on
one
Brain
snare,
Damage,
okay.
but a lot of, and I think, like, to your point, even though it is like a heavy rock song, like the playing was very dynamic. Like it wasn't just like crash and rim shots the whole time. There's like a lot of dynamics to the playing and a lot of like subtle kind of like volume and groove changes, and obviously like a bunch of different cymbals that all sound like independently different. And yeah, Robert did a really good job of like capturing that dynamic performance on all the tracks. But yeah, Brain Damage is a good example of it, because it does separate like a basic rock song from like a rock song with intention when there's like dynamic performance even throughout the heavier parts. And yeah, this is a song that Will wrote like back in the Blue Taboo days. I want to say we
it might
fucked
be an
around
exaggeration,
a little
but
bit.
it's going like the original idea, which honestly doesn't really resemble the end product much anymore. Is probably 10 years old now.
damn.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
like I think the only one on the record that goes back that far. Yeah.
Pretty much every song we've ever done is Foreign Words, for better or worse. Usually starts with me writing a song on the acoustic guitar, writing out most of it and bringing it to the guys, and then adding drums and bass to an already fleshed out idea. And this one was bred more of Will and I in the basement. Will had the beginning ideas, and then we would kind of work together to kind of change some stuff and add some stuff. And it was kind of yep.
Yeah,
It's definitely a
Pretty
Willie
caveman.
song.
it's a little
Yeah.
self-serving, but like it starts with bass because that's how I wanted it.
Yeah. This is a Will song. It starts with
Yeah.
me. Hell yeah. All right. And then the second single, as previously mentioned, American Beauty.
Yep.
Did this one change single to album version?
Not too much, actually. We had quite the hard time, or I had quite the hard time mixing the. I didn't like the single mix after it had come out, or I shouldn't say that. I didn't like certain aspects of the single mix after it first came out. So there was a lot of back and forth. I just wanted to start from scratch again and do it over. But every single time I would send the rough mixes to the boys, and even I was just like, yeah, it's just like doesn't hit like the original one. There's so many different sounds and textures and just variation of instruments on that song too, specifically kind of sticks out. And it was just hard to there's a bit of magic in that first mix that was hard to recreate. So the album mix is very, very close. There's like a couple EQ changes on a couple of drums.
The snare is definitely way better on the album version, I would say.
Snare's a little more natural sounding. There's the kick drum's a lot beefier in the low end. A lot of that 30 to 50 hertz kind of stuff added back in. And then the horns are a bit louder as well. And more vocal overall, because that's always been a hard thing that I've had doing with. So,
logistics-wise, are you like labeling the songs differently, like on streaming services? Like you calling those single versions and assigning different codes and stuff?
Yeah, so we just updated the Spotify and or all the streaming services to do. So the original ones are just the single mix now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So.
It's something we've done with Cadzo songs. We're like on the first LP. I mean, 4 of the songs were already like on the EP that we put out. And then we dropped Larimer Street and Strange at First as singles. And they both have different versions on the album. And it's really weird to like do a different mix of your own song.
Yes, for sure.
When you're so used to the other version, it's hard. Like you're so like, even if you think you want to change things, you're so attached to like the way you did it the first time, you can't hear it differently.
You get demoitis on stuff.
Yeah, definitely. What was the process of writing American Beauty?
That one's a bit more on the nose as far as the disenfranchisement. It's kind of just about being pissed off with the so-called American dream that we get preached to us as children and throughout our whole lives, especially growing up and being in the political climate that we are in today. It's just very upsetting. And you see all this hypocritical behavior around people that we should be looking up to as idols and role models that should be taking care of us. But it's very hard to have any faith in people these days, especially in the upper echelon of politics or stuff like that.
Stylistically with your vocals, I feel like this one's kind of the most... I've never heard you like perform a song like this.
Yeah.
Was it hard to like put that out there and mess around with it?
It was. So going back to Will's note about the pop album stuff, I remember listening to, it doesn't sound like it, but the most of the vocals were based off of local natives' vocal melodies. And yeah, it's probably hard to
underrated
see that
band
but
for amazing harmonies.
For sure.
And melodies.
And so yeah, I was trying to implement kind of like a poppy aspect into that just to be a little bit more not accessible, but just easier to listen to maybe, or catch more people's attention maybe, or I guess a better way to put it would be like to draw more emotional attachment from the listener in the song.
The performance is amazing. Like I remember being surprised the first time I listened to it, like how you deliver like American Dream, like drop downloads. It's cool as hell. And it definitely does. Yeah. Makes you remember it more. Sticks in your head. All right. On to track 5. My favorite track of the album.
I think it's my
as
favorite
was spoiled on Bandcamp if you follow me there. Parachutes. I remember listening to Parachutes demo. I'd heard this song before. Really liked this song. Did not expect it to be my favorite on the album. But the first time I listened to it, the whole way through, Parachutes just really stuck out.
Oh yeah.
And upon repeat listens, I still get excited to listen to Parachutes.
Yeah.
So what do you guys have to say about this track?
That one's actually kind of interesting because if I remember correctly, it was almost cut like several times during the process.
I never wanted to cut it.
And it's funny because and I think we've gone back and forth on it on a lot of different aspects of the album. But
it's hard when you are in the mixing phase because you're not really showing it to anyone else, and you kind of just at a certain point you're like, is this actually good? Like, I didn't know if there was enough going on with the track itself to like be interesting, but what made it interesting was the mix itself, and I think the master too helped a lot. But sorry to interrupt.
Oh no, you're good. Kind of going back to Julian's, like sometimes we were late on tracking bass. I think this might have been one of the last parts I wrote that I recorded, and it was like I wrote it like the night before. And that's also very strange for me because you jam a song a certain way for like 6 months to a year, but I just like couldn't find the right thing that something that inspired me but also felt true to the song. And I can't remember like why or how, but I sat down and I was just like, all right, like whatever I play is gonna be the part. And then it turned out to be kind of a banger. And it's so funny how a song can go from there's something wrong with it and maybe like it's not strong enough to then, I mean, like you're saying, like people's favorites when it's kind of internally like we weren't sure how it was going to go over, I think.
For sure. Is it the sequencing from Parachutes to Faults makes so much sense to me, almost like they're like the same song, kind of like Faults is like part B of that song. Was that purposeful in the writing process, or?
I don't know about so much it's so in the writing process. Definitely for the sequencing process.
Yeah.
So this is not a concept album for sure. I think over time there'll probably be some concepts that people glean off of it, which would be cool. But the first record was much more of, we had this concept of heavy versus dreamy for the whole thing. There's a lot more like transition tracks and kind of spaced out melodies between. Whereas this one's kind of one song ends, the next song starts. Yeah. But yeah, definitely almost like a question and an answer. Parachutes into Faults for sure. But yeah, we put a lot of time into the sequencing of it, but not so much in the writing. Faults has always kind of been an outlier too, I think.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that one next.
Parachutes also, I think it's worth mentioning, is like the other song that stems back a bit further, like the original, the beginning part of Parachutes originally comes from LP1.
That's right. Like it was
like an abandoned LP1 idea because we couldn't figure out a way to finish it for LP1. I don't think, like, it just wasn't. And then we never talked about it. Like, we were never like, we are gonna save this track and like bring it back. It was just like something that we're just like, well, fuck it, let's try it. And then in my memory, we didn't. I mean, like, Will didn't have a bass part forever, but like I remember the structure coming together relatively quickly and like not really too much changing from like demo to record.
Is that the middle part's just like tacked in there, right? It
We
was from a
did-
different song.
That was
I
just
think,
like
right?
something we added to like have a different part.
Which is like my favorite part now. So
Yeah, no, I think that
Which part?
like
the middle section where it gets a little distorted guitar-y and right
Insert
before the-
Linkin Park here.
I think for me, like in the same way that Iatcos, like
Go ahead.
I don't even want to now. Let's just move on.
No, I'm sorry. I was
I was just gonna
about
say
something earlier.
in the same way that Iatcos like is a good encapsulation for the vibe of the record, I think Parachutes to me is like kind of the same way where it's like every vibe or like energy
it's
on the record
represented
can
on-
kind of like be boiled down in that track. Yeah.
I agree. Okay. Well, let's talk about Faults since we talked. Oh, Parachutes. Do you want to talk about the meaning of the lyrics or anything? Horrible way to ask the question.
I always have to think about it because it's not the meaning of the song.
What are
not always like
parachute
first.
eyes, Robert?
So the only reason why the song is called Parachutes is because we love the first album by Coldplay so much, titled Parachutes.
True.
And
They actually mean that.
I know.
Parachutes
it's hard
is great.
To, hard to
Parachutes is
hear.
a great album.
That's one of the best records ever made. And that was because the outro of the song was just kind of like
Sounded a little
Coldplay, old Coldplay, just
I
kind
can see that, yeah.
of meandering acoustic guitar, kind of fading out there, losing energy, losing steam.
Yeah, the tom, like the weird tom, it's not even weird, but the tom pattern at the end is like directly inspired by like the tom shit on, what's the Trouble on Parachutes? Because there's like a bunch of weird tom shit at the end of that song.
Do you guys just want to talk about parachutes for the rest of the podcast?
Let's shift.
We
to-
could.
Yeah. You talking Coldplay to. It's like in that when they started to do the Red Hot Chili Peppers and then just decided mid-episode to talk about Talking Heads instead. Which was the right move. All right, faults. The answer to parachutes.
Yeah.
Something I just came up with.
I'm a really intuitive guy.
When did this song originate?
I want to say it was one of the older ones as well. Definitely.
And this was also one of the only ones, not one of the only ones, but it was one of the ones from the demo sessions that had like, it was fully fledged, like had vocals.
Yeah.
It was like pretty structurally sound.
Yes.
Even
Had
the radio samples?
The samples, yep.
Yeah.
Which are from...
I do remember that from the demo days.
It's an Australian military medical training exercise. So I can't remember where
That
I
sounds
found
cool.
it. Yeah, it was like one of the only like non-copyrighted things I could find, but it worked good.
Sorry to jump back to a different track. I meant to ask something about that on Emma, Where's Your Head?
Yeah.
Where there's like some like conversation chatter background in that. Where's that from?
That is me recording.
Yeah.
It's me and the dogs just hanging out in the basement.
Cool.
Olive, let's fucking rage.
Yeah, Dilly Olive, let's fucking rage. I wanted to add some levity to the song, but also kind of add like just a weird vibe to it as well. It's kind of supposed to be in the same vein. Billy Joe Armstrong does a similar thing on the track Homecoming off of American Idiot.
I'm gonna go see what they're fucking barking at.
Yeah, they're going wild up there.
We'll wait for you on our phones.
Just like how the dogs interrupt the podcast, they also interrupted most of our recording sessions
They did,
too.
yeah. So if you listen very carefully, there's probably a stray bark or two or something on there. So.
I think it adds to the intimacy and the home recording quality of the album.
For sure.
I think it's boring
Fiona
to have
Apple.
a perfectly sterile recording environment.
Yeah, that was kind of the point of it too. I wanted to make I really wanted to hone my mixing skills and producing skills to make a record that sounded on par with the music that we like to listen to.
Yeah.
So I don't like bragging about it too much. I do think it stands on its toes. And
Yeah,
like kind of
definitely does, man.
could have been
Sounds
produced
great.
in a real studio and mixed by a real mixing engineer.
No doubt.
But yeah, it was tracked in a basement.
This very basement we sit in now.
Yep. Not too shabby.
Track number 7, Sentimental.
Yes. Sentimental. That was one of the later ones, I think. Not an early one.
That one was.
I couldn't remember Sentimental from the first time I listened to the album.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember if that was a demo I listened to or not.
It might not have been. The other track written in 7.
Yeah.
So
Well, and like 6 other stupid time signatures.
that's
Yeah.
true. That was the one. Yeah, that was one that definitely did not come together until kind of late in the process for sure.
Go. Olive, come on.
Hi, Olive.
Let's fucking rage, Olive. All right.
I mean, maybe it feels different for you, Robert, or Julian, who's not sitting back down yet. But, I mean, I think we kind of wrote that as literally like kind of rolling the dice on like the number of quarter notes that were in the numerator and denominator of the meter. Because
Talking about sentimental.
Sentimental.
yeah, I mean, the whole point was
I didn't have any thoughts about faults. It's okay.
it was like the
thought you
same
wouldn't.
pulse the whole time, but then we just transitioned to parts that just didn't seem very like natural always. But then I think what's cool about the end product is I don't know from the outside perspective, but I feel like we did achieve some like pretty cool, interesting dynamics in that song that we didn't find elsewhere because it was more spontaneous.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. When you're not just like trying to be like, let's write a part in 5. Just let-
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
happens.
kind of right. There was a concept that we never fully explored, but early on in the recording or demo process, we were talking, or writing process, we were talking about doing like a la songs for the deaf, kind of like changing radio stations and like for the album. And that song was kind of going to be, at least the concept of it was to have like 6 different parts that felt like you were flipping between stations or flipping between TV channels and going back and forth between different parts.
Speaking of songs for the deaf, Emma, Where's Your Head? Song for the Dead influenced intro?
I don't think so. At
Wait.
least not for me personally.
Spiritually, something like
Yeah,
that.
it is
I
on
don't know.
Emma's word. Emma word.
It is interesting that you say that because that was one of the main like
Here, let me
mix
play the.
influence records.
I don't think we'll get in trouble if I just play the intro.
Oh, you won't get in trouble for playing our songs.
We get
No,
in trouble
Spot-
for
yeah, we
playing
play-
our own songs.
Really?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Interesting.
Nah, he's playing source material.
I wasn't thinking about that record when that happened.
Sounds
but
real good,
The
guys.
influence is always there.
Yeah.
The toms are very songs for the deaf sounding for sure.
What's that Diana Ross song?
I'm coming out.
Yeah, I don't know. It always comes back to I'm coming out.
Does have the best drum sounds ever put on tape.
Song for the Dead just has such an iconic drum intro. I thought you might be emulating that a bit.
No, it is weird because I did like write all the fills for the record pretty much. Like I had all the fills pre-planned, so I knew that was like exactly what I was gonna play for it. And we actually had to do a bunch of takes because it is kind of a hard fill to play. But it was more of just like I want like false start energy, like for all the fills. Like a big thing with the fills on the record is doing them transitionally halfway through grooves rather than like tagging them to the end of grooves or like only using them for transitional stuff. I think personally it was more of just that, like trying to make the songs feel like false starty or like not knowing exactly when or how the drums are going to come in.
All right, relax, guy. I'm not calling you out or anything.
I thought we were supposed to be talking about the record right now.
Just joking. It makes total sense. And I'm sorry I keep going back to talk about Emma, Where's Your Head? When we're supposed to be talking about track 7, Sentimental.
It's all good. I'll never forgive
But
you
what I
for
gotta
it,
say
but
was the radio tuning in and out, which is a cool effect.
yeah.
Yeah. Talk about the drum solo.
Well, okay, so
Talk about the drum solo.
do you like any of my drum performances on this
I
record?
love your drum. I love all of your drum performances on this.
I spent a lot of time writing all my drum parts and like actually making sure everything was like fully planned out.
Good
That's
for
not
you.
coming through my headphones.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Anyway,
How else would you have been hearing it?
I was hearing it through the computer.
No, it's coming through the cans.
It just sounded really quiet and distant.
Yeah, it's because I had to turn it down. 'cause
Don't
your
turn it
guys'
back up. It's
music is
fine.
so
Don't worry
freaking
about it.
loud.
The crowd
It's
is really
fine.
far away.
And they're not that enthusiastic about
Okay,
what
well,
you said.
let's just not talk about it.
Now
No. Go ahead.
I'm scared that you have another one in the cannon.
I don't.
That's exactly what he would say if you had another one in the cannon.
I wish I had a cannon sound effect right now. I'll tell you that much.
That would be a fully great opportunity to take if you had the ability to.
Gonna add that to the list.
The only thing that I did not plan out really at all was the sentimental ending part, which I guess
We've broken the seal. Let's just listen to it. Keep talking.
you
Though.
think will be okay. I don't really remember why or how that came about. Like, I don't remember having a conversation about it. Surely no one told me, like, you should do it, like, a bunch of drum fills for the outro of this track. Like, I don't remember how this came about, to be honest.
Well, I think basically Robert and I settled on that like really quick ostinato at the end of the song. But so we just were staying static and just did that for like as long as the jam was basically. I don't know, and Julian would just pick, but like eventually it formed into that he basically just was vamping over that pulse, which
Yeah.
I think is a lot of how it came to be in the final form.
Yeah, I
Those
just don't
ending is
really
sick.
remember why we would have... I don't remember why we would have dragged it out for so long during the writing session. This is one of the things from LP1 that I think is a cool idea, but it's hard to like explain it to people and have them fully like respect it. Is like we did a lot of like really drawn out song sections on LP1 where we would just repeat sections a lot and really explore the fullness of those sections, I guess I would say. We were very like repetition based on LP1. And I don't remember if it was like a specific conversation that we had or if it was more of just like a vibe going into LP2, but I think we didn't really want to do that again. But I do think the end of this song reminds me of LP1 in that sense of it's just like a thing that we do for a while, maybe arguably a little too long, just because it's like self-indulgent and, you know, why the fuck not do that? Because, you know, we can do it and we can make it interesting. But yeah, I genuinely don't really remember like why we decided that would be a good thing to do.
There were some specific conversations going back to the pop influence thing. I was stating it a lot at the beginning. I was like, so in a pop song, nothing is there, no part is played that isn't supposed to be, or isn't supposed to be catching the attention of the listener, or it is like trying to make a statement other than like, this is what you're listening to right now. And I think on LP1 a lot, we would just repeat sections just for the fuck of it, just because we could. And on this one, there was a lot of intention behind the part. So it was like, we're going to do this part because, again, going back to serving the song the best way or drawing the emotional attachment from the listener. Yeah. So
yeah, I don't really know, with all that being said, why we decided to do an extended outro. Do you remember why we decided to do that for Sentimental?
Just because it was cool. But we also have the two drum parts going on at the same time. So it was kind of justified in that, well, there's still something going on the whole time. And I think it turned out pretty cool.
It did turn out cool.
I like it. It's very self-serving.
Like it's still super unique, like not really a vibe that exists on anything else that I can think of. There's not really like a song that comes to mind where it's just like an open vamp over like a... Like it's kind of postmodern jazzy, but it's also way too repetitive to actually be postmodern jazz, and it's structured, like I said, it's not really that like improvisational. So I don't know. It's just a weird moment in time, I guess.
Track number 8, Blacklight. First question. This is the second all caps song in the track list. Is there significance behind the capitalization? Or is it just a stylistic thing?
Yeah, so you have Iatcos, Brain Damage.
Oh, I guess. Okay, I wasn't counting Iatcos because that is an acronym.
Technically, yes. We could have done lowercase.
So I guess it's the third. So. This is Blacklight is the third, all caps.
American Beauty used to be all caps. Faults used to be all caps. It was kind of like any song that kind of went balls to the wall, which Blacklight doesn't. This is the one I wanted to cut from the record.
Yeah.
We weren't sure if it was going to be on the record until like, it was like literally 2 weeks before we sent it off for mastering. We were still having discussions on whether or not it should be on the record. I'm glad it is.
Yeah.
But,
I love this track.
Yeah.
It's
very unique.
Yeah.
To the album. Kind of exploring some darker territory with the subject matter and just the vibe and emotions that are pulling from the song. For sure. But yeah, as far as the capitalization, it's just unique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the mixed case.
I think at one point the names were supposed to be a lot more cryptic, and then we like couldn't think of anything cool. So
yeah,
like at some point they were all caps, and then whatever. But.
Yeah, some of them were more like codes, like kind of how Iatcos is like a code or an abbreviation. I think Blacklight, I would probably put it like track number 3 for like being super early in the writing process and being like one of the like kind of like foundational tracks for me, at least for the record of like I want the drums to go more in this direction, and I want like the songs to feel more like kind of where Blacklight, the territory that Blacklight was like kind of trying to go down. And I also do want to say, just like, again, I think for me, and it could just be because of like how dark the track is or how like kind of deconstructed the track is for the most part. This song does, I think, have some relatively strong ties back to LP1 as well, just as far as like the sound and the vibe that it has.
For sure. That's why it would surprise me to hear that Robert was thinking of cutting this one, because I viewed this one as kind of like an early, like foundational one as well. I put it up there with American Beauty and Brain Damage.
Nice.
So,
I think he asked me to buy the bass bow like before we started writing the album, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that.
I think so. Yeah. Just to add a different texture.
Yeah.
It worked out good. They're like, well, I've got the bow, so we got to use it on something.
Yeah.
This is the first time the bow has come up, and I'm glad you mentioned it because I didn't want to talk about the bow. I filled in for Will in a foreign words gig one
I
time.
always forget about that.
Yeah.
Sorry we did that too.
No, dude, I loved it. That was such a fun gig. What I would love to get the set list from that because I learned a lot of these songs. Brain Damage was definitely in the set. American Beauty was probably in
I
the
can't
set.
believe we made you play Brain Damage.
I loved
so
playing
fucked.
Brain Damage. That's why I said it's still one of my favorite bass parts. But yeah, the bass bow. It was the first time I'd ever played a bass guitar with a bow. It was something that Will did very well. Something that I could not do. I tried to emulate it live and think I did an okay job of, I don't know, making a sound that wasn't a pick on a bass.
You did great.
So Blacklight features the bass bow.
It does.
Yeah.
The one and only.
That's the one. Yeah, one and only.
Oh, really? I thought you used it on some other tracks.
Mm-mm.
No.
I mean, that's cool that you thought that. Well, dang. I mean, like, not to minimize it too much, but I think for me, honestly, it's like a gimmick that goes back to Johnny Greenwood and before him, Jimmy Page, and I'm sure like tons of other people too. But those are the ones that stick out for me. So I don't know. It's kind of like a obvious but not obvious thing. If you're like, well, I'm trying to be a little different. Like, how can we make some texture? And it's like, oh, I'll just put a bunch of delay on this shit. And like,
Yeah. So we definitely did play Blacklight at that gig that I filled in on because I bowed the fuck out of that song.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You did.
All right. Track 9, Parasite.
Parasite.
Also a great movie. Have you thought about that?
Not seen the movie.
You haven't seen the movie Parasite?
I haven't seen it.
You
either.
Never heard of it.
Bong
What?
Joon-ho.
Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah.
You're maybe the
Oh,
only
I have heard of it.
maybe the only person in the world who hasn't seen that movie but has a song named after the movie. I'm assuming the song is about the movie. That's what I've thought this whole time.
Unfortunately, no.
Well, it's disappointing to hear, I won't lie. You've never heard of the movie Parasite?
I've
Are you
heard of
kidding?
it. No,
Okay.
at first it didn't ring a bell, but
I know what it's about, but never watched it. I'm like 6 years behind on my movie pop culture stuff.
Well, give it a watch. And if you want to see what I think about it, you can follow me on Letterboxd at Dillboy Brando.
Dillboy Brando.
Dillboy Brando. Shout
out.
1 second. There we go.
I hope that you sleep well tonight.
I will sleep well most nights. It's not a lie. I have insomnia. Julie knows that. So what a sick thing to say.
Damn.
I hope that
Fucker.
you
I hope you lay awake
sleep
at
well
night.
for the rest of the week.
All right, Parasite, track 9. What's the song about?
That one definitely gets a bit more into personal emotion, mild feelings of self-loathing, dealing with kind of growing older, learning to accept certain faults, no pun intended, and negative traits that you might have as a person, but understanding how that encapsulates into a whole as who you are. And yeah, kind of just learning from that, gleaning from that, and yeah, moving forward.
Heck yeah. What do you guys think of the song Parasite?
Don't really remember much about this one.
Actually,
All right,
this is
track
probably
10.
the oldest one on the record.
I think
'cause it's
I
the Blippy Bloopy demo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I think
also
I-
really
It's
old.
the oldest?
Yeah.
probably
At least the
up there.
the beginning is.
I remember buying the temple blocks for it, and then I think I made my part in like one one writing session and then didn't really change it at all. And it's a very, very straightforward drum part. Like, I would say absolutely no frills whatsoever for the entire song. It's pretty much just like eighth notes or quarter notes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like Robert has talked several times about doing what serves the song the best. And this one for me was a big, like, stepping back and just like not doing too much for the majority of the song. 'Cause I don't know, there's always been a lot of drum presence throughout all the foreign word songs, I would say. So knowing to just like not do too much on this record was like a big learning moment for me. And I think I took a lot of that from Kadzo as well. Just like, yeah, doing exactly what the song needs and not adding too much.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I think we've kind of walked past it, but really, like, the notes I should have written down was, like, at the top, like, minimalism, because I think, like, we came from the first album, which was self-indulgent and was called Wasting Time, and I think wasted some people's time, too. But this album, I think we did really intentionally strip back, and I'd say Parasite's probably the best one to showcase that, because, you know, I think most of the tracks, if you think about it, there's like bass through most of it, but like there's a lot of whole section of that song doesn't have bass. I think we all try a lot of different things, and like I don't know, it was a weird one to write too, because the whole ending was not previously choreographed by like a phone note or something like that. So it was kind of like mashing one pretty established idea with like a kind of random thing that we came up with at the time.
The established thing, you mean the demo that goes way back?
Yeah, exactly.
So sorry about that.
Well, actually, it's like 3 parts where only the intro is the older idea, and then the middle and the end are, well, I guess, made out of whole cloth.
Yeah. All right, track 10. The final, all caps, heavy banger song on the album, Paint Yourself Red. Julian and I were talking about the album the other day, and I think you brought this up as a contender for your personal favorite.
In the sense that I think it also is a good like landmark song for like what if you were to show, if I was to show someone what I like think Foreign Words is as a band in like 3 songs or 4 songs, I think this would be one of the songs I would pick, because I think it's the best example of us doing like heavy, somewhat post-metal inspired stuff. For me personally, like, and I don't really know why this is, because like when I joined Foreign Words, it was not a heavy project at all. It was like a very indie project, but when it became more like more of a band, then there was always, I think, like a desire to do stuff that sounded like kind of in the universe of the post-metal that we were all like listening to at the time. Yeah, I think post-metal inspired LP1 in like a lot of ways. Like we were literally listening to Sumac in the control room, like between takes.
Yeah.
So I that's really long-winded again, but I think that's all just to say, like, for me, Paint Yourself Red like gets the closest to like actually being a good contender for like a heavy post-metal song. Like, I would stack it up against other modern heavy tracks and think that it's like on par, if not like better than a lot of them. And it also really, I think, exemplifies what Foreign Words is good at in a lot of ways, is like non-conventional song structures, parts that don't repeat, sections that only happen for like a brief minute, and also just like power trio, like 3 instruments and a voice with like not really anything added to that. So I think it's a good overall encapsulation for like what we do in that regard.
Okay. Yeah, I love this track as well. Lyrics on this one. Anything you want to talk about?
Yeah, kind of lyrics and vocal style. We haven't talked about it much, but on our first record, I think kind of just by way that I got into making music, I would have considered myself a guitar player first and just kind of vocalist by happenstance, or just because that was what, there wasn't anybody else to do it, so I would do it. So there's a lot of parts on the first record going back to the kind of like meandering repetition of stuff where we just wouldn't do vocals just because I just really didn't want to or didn't feel comfortable with it. But for this record, I was like, okay, I'm a vocalist first, and then the guitar comes second. And not necessarily that to that degree, but I think this song definitely showcases that. So kind of exploring a lot of different vocal styles, going back and forth between the screaming and the non-screaming parts, and just kind of extending the range as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that goes back to what I was saying about American Beauty, is you really put yourself out there on this track
I tried
vocally. Sir?
I've also walked past this idea a few times, but it's like every time we talk about something, I write down a new idea, which is kind of funny. But I think a big idea for me writing this whole album, and that is expressed really well in this song, is the idea of like playing in unison, especially between guitar and bass, but also trying to implement drums and guitar and bass to all line up in some ways.
Yeah.
And that was a facet of all of the heavier tracks, Iadkos, Emma Where's Your Head, this one.
Definitely Brain Damage.
Brain Damage as well. The point was, when we wanted to be heavy and raw, a lot of times it was like we would play the exact same notes, sometimes the whole song. Like I think Brain Damage, we literally play the exact same part,
Right.
like the whole time. But then Paint Yourself Red, I think, is a cool time where we go really heavy, but then we also explore what it sounds like when we all split off and we play like polyphonically, if that's a word.
It is now.
Because, like, I don't know. Have you counted that one? Like, there's some weird shit in there that I don't even know if I could count it. Just because it's like,
I know there's
it's just
weird
like
shit and I
how
haven't
it feels.
Counted it, yeah.
And to go back to something Julian said, like, a lot of that song is transitions to the next transition, even, which is kind of unusual for us. I don't know.
There's
But
like certain things that happen like literally for 2 repetitions, and then it goes directly into something completely different.
But so that one was a real joy to sometimes be really in unison and try to use that like caveman energy, as we sometimes say internally. And then at other times, I think it was like a really cool time to also all diversify, but then hopefully make something bigger for it. But
For sure. Oh, that's interesting. On to track 11, the third song about a color, Black Chucks.
True.
This, I love, going back to the sequencing, the choice to finish with Black Chucks and All That Glitters. I feel like All That Glitters is an obvious closing track, but Black Chucks before it is great.
Thank you.
And it's like a nice wind down from that final peak of Paint Yourself Red.
Yeah.
The way it goes from Black Chucks to All That Glitters. So where does Black Chucks originate from?
It's probably the most personal track on the record in a lot of weird ways because there's not that many lyrics on it either. It's about a girl. I'll leave it there.
Tried to get my fucking cricket sound effect.
at one point, the shoes were a different color because it was like maybe too obvious the color of shoes in question, but I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to cut that probably. You're gonna have to cut that
maybe
out.
that's too much.
For the
fine.
person that it's about, you're saying?
For everyone
For
involved, all of us.
Yeah,
for
perhaps.
everybody's sake.
Sorry for asking.
Yeah, fuck
No,
you.
no. You don't actually have to cut that. It's fine.
I would. Even if you wanted me to,
He would
Dave,
forget.
I would forget.
He
This-
already did.
At
He
this
doesn't
point
know
in
where
an
he is
episode,
right
nope. This is live actually.
now. We're on
Straight
IG
up.
right now.
We're being recorded.
Yeah, this is.
If the person
Yeah, we told.
happens to,
There's no way.
yeah, no, there's no way they would. But if that person did happen to watch this, they would have heard the song and got
Already figured it
He
out.
figured it out before that. Yeah. So
I think I got this far. Well, anything else to say about Black Trucks?
I think the whole song, at least for me, was trying to like go with and express like kind of how dreadful it was, and I mean that in a good way. Like when Robert wrote it, it reminded me of like
Some real sad shit.
like funeral death metal, where it's just like slow and sad, and that's like a totally disparate example, but like it was, the vibe was dreadful to me, and so I also felt really uncomfortable playing it, and at some point I didn't want to play bass on it. I can't remember how
Put
it
a
came to
ball
that.
gag on him when I went up there, but he must have taken it off.
He's literally just barking because it's windy.
I have a
Like,
plugin that will just filter all that shit out. Anyways.
Nice.
Yeah.
The
Cool.
anti-dog plugin.
I like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you actually?
Yeah.
It's called the Old Yeller.
You haven't used it on any of the other ones.
It's called mute on everyone's microphone.
It's called the
but
Christie
mine.
Gnome.
And you only hear it a little bit on mine. Sorry. The dog
oh yeah.
Yeah, we
rudely
really-
interrupting us.
Well, dreadful. So
Back
I
to how depressing this
etc.
song is.
God awful.
I'm like a really elementary keys player, and so I challenged myself
He's better than he gives
to
himself credit for.
play keys on this song, Rhodes and the bass synth, I guess I'd call it. But so I feel pretty ham-fisted doing that, but that's also why the parts are so simple, is because I literally like couldn't play it faster. But that I think lends itself to the insecurities of the song, the tension in the song.
Yeah.
I don't know. I tried to like take that on during writing.
No, the key parts are dope.
Thanks.
Well done.
It was supposed to be like more of a transition track originally, I think.
Yeah.
And it kind of just turned into like a full blown song.
Yeah.
It really opened up and kind of became
It was more of a grower.
kind of its own thing.
Well,
Yeah.
More
when-
grower than shower.
Nice. When we added the, I don't know. I don't want to just keep saying band names as far as like references to song parts that we think about internally, but whatever we rock out in that song.
Very brand new.
Well,
Inspired.
I was gonna say it, but then I didn't say it. But
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff on the record that is brand
Brand
new,
new.
inspired.
yeah.
I don't listen to a lot of brand new, but I can hear it even from my limited knowledge. I know you're a big brand new guy. Even after the controversies.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting.
I went and saw them not too long ago, and it was the best concert I've ever been to.
Was it really?
I'll leave it there.
At Mission?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was one of the best sounding concerts I've ever been to.
Yeah, they don't
so-
fuck around with sound, that's
Yeah,
for sure.
they don't.
Well, Will was just talking about not just throwing around band names to compare to, but I'll go ahead and do it because All That Glitters is very much your Cadzo Mile a Minute Man to this album.
That's actually very true now that you say it out loud.
I hadn't made that connection.
I was gonna
myself
say
personally,
Wilco, but I mean, okay.
It's the last track on the album, the titular track.
yes,
Slower acoustic opening.
Mhm.
Not that I track it with an acoustic guitar on the Cadzo song, but it could very easily have been. And it's open
So
cowboy
already
chords.
pretty different.
Nope. I'm not. You guys probably had All That Glitters written before Mile a Minute Man came out. I'm not saying it. I'm not accusing anyone of copying here. I want to get that out of the way. Just saying, it's a funny parallel. I love All That Glitters. It's the longest song on it. How long is the acoustic intro before?
I think it's about a
Drums
minute and a
come in.
half. Oh,
Okay.
before drums come in. Like
Yeah, or-
almost
Like 4
4
minutes?
minutes,
4 minutes,
or so.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like a whole song before the song starts.
Yeah. It sounds great. How'd you track the acoustic to get to production?
Cool.
Question.
I think we used a couple 414s stereo.
Nice.
Yeah, talk about David Bowie.
I didn't end up using.
Oh, you didn't use that? Oh.
We did
Strike
for the first
that.
couple of
Strike
mixes,
that.
and then and then I didn't do it. I'm sorry.
What were you trying to get Adrian Ballou on that shit?
We had an interesting thing of hard panning the acoustics and flipping the phase of one side to kind of make a hole in the middle.
Yeah.
But it ended up getting too lost in the mix and when it got big. So
I've tried that before.
yeah,
But that's an old David Bowie trick, at least
I
to
don't
my
know
knowledge.
Bowie.
So, but we can strike that from the record.
It is stricken.
You got any good gavel sounds on there?
Probably.
there are a lot of dog claw pitter patters in the background of that song if you listen very, very closely.
Does that tickle your fancy?
Not even close.
Well, that's what I've got.
Okay. You suck.
Sorry, you're saying there's some background noise effects on All That Glitters?
Yeah, that one was with my older dog, Dilly. He kind of hung around for a lot of the tracking sessions, mostly because Olive's a terror and she's not quiet enough to track with, but Dilly is. So
Yeah, he spent a lot of time just laying on the floor, like next to the microphones,
Keeping the
even
toes
like.
warm.
Yeah.
Good boy.
Good boy, indeed. It's the kind of dog you want for tracking an album.
Billy, settle down.
Yep.
Um,
And he gets a little shout out at the end of that song too. So
Did you have the name All That Glitters decided for the album for a while?
I don't think I knew it was the album title until I saw it in a text message.
yeah, well, so it's similar to the first record where the closing track is the name of the album. I was talking to this boys about it.
That does
it.
happen.
Yeah, I was talking to them about it a couple weeks ago. It's kind of funny.
So Kadzo copied you on that, is what you're saying, from the first album.
Maybe.
I think a lot of bands have done that before.
Nope,
Either of
just Kadzo and Four
Sorry,
Months.
my bad.
So the actual phrase "all that glitters," at least how it's struck into my mind, it's usually weird stuff like this. But I was watching an episode of SpongeBob, and it's the episode
Represent.
where SpongeBob gets a new spatula. It's like the robotic one, and it like flips all the burgers, and
I love that episode.
the old one's sitting in the hospital because it like broke.
Yeah.
And it's
right.
like got repaired, but then he's like, "Hey, I'm ready. I'm ready to come back to you now." And the spatula's like, "No." And then he's just like bawling. And then he comes up on the screen. It just says, "All that glitters is not gold." But for some reason, I know it sounds terribly silly. It really struck a chord with me, and kind of ties into the subject matter of the song, not necessarily in a direct way, but in a way that the subject matter of the song kind of resonated with me.
So that's when you named the song and decided right then that the album would be named after that song too?
I think that came a little bit later. It definitely had closing track vibes from the time it was written.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of the older ones too. Just started as a demo. It was one of the only songs that it was weird. I wrote it all in one night, and I think the demo was probably like 7.5 minutes long, so pretty close to how the actual track ended up going. And I think all the lyrics were also written pretty early on too, which was not very common for this record.
Yeah.
Most of the lyrics were written very
You
late.
definitely get that with this song that like you came up with, like this was you coming up with the song on acoustic in your room and singing along.
Yeah, it's a very impersonal track, just as far as the subject matter goes. And I won't go into too much detail, just out of respect for what it's about. But yeah, everything is usually very kind of rooted in emotions or feelings that I have. And this was kind of more of an outside story, with all the utmost respect to the subject matter.
Indeed. Well, speaking of the title, well, first, anything you guys want to say about All That Glitters, the song?
I'm real proud of it.
As you should be. It's a great track, 8 minutes long, and it does not feel like an 8-minute song at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think like on LP1, I don't think we ever gave Robert actually, that's not true. I think there was a time for you to like kind of just do your own thing, like guitar and vocals.
There were certain parts,
parts,
a song
but
or two. Yeah.
I thought this was a cool opportunity to just like I almost considered not playing at all, but then like eventually we arranged things, but like it really did feel like a dude in his bedroom singing it, and to your point. But yeah,
Awesome.
It's also maybe like the only. Well, it's probably not the only song, but it's the only song I can remember right now where Robert like told me when like he had an idea for the structure,
Like
like
how it
very
builds.
much laid
Yeah.
out. Like drums come in when I say this line, and they build more like when this thing happens, and then they like drop out here, and then they like come back here. So it was very much just like following the lead of the song that was already like done, I think, for the recording, which made it pretty fucking easy for me. Just like a session guy, show up, play the thing, fucking clock out when it's done.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. it's a good track. It definitely like has, it was like
Finisher
always,
energy.
it was always viewed as the
Yeah.
closer. I think the whole time. So
For sure. That makes sense. Well, hell of a track. Hell
Thank
of an
you.
album, boys.
Thank you.
Huge congrats again.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Everybody, please go listen to All That Glitters by Foreign Words. Streaming everywhere. But get it on Bandcamp, as we said before.
yeah, fuck Spotify. I think Bandcamp was a cool release strategy.
I
and
did,
I'm
yeah. I
proud
really
that we
liked
did it.
your release strategy for it.
I'm
Put
happy
it out
that
a
we
week
did
early.
it that way.
Really cool.
I mean, we haven't said it yet, really, but well, I guess we've implied it, but it is a DIY album. Do it
Yeah.
yourself.
I did literally
that
have a
what
whole
DIY
spiel
stands
about
for?
that at the beginning.
What?
Is that what DIY stands for?
I thought
It
so.
sounds weird to me, too.
Sounds wrong.
Yeah. Even the cover art is
Right here in
a
the
photo
It's
basement.
the
taken by
basement.
Robert.
Yeah, shot by
The
Robert.
basement where the album is tracked. So if you want to see the recording environment, if you want to see what's immediately west of us as we record this podcast, go check it out.
It's true. We're
Mhm.
sitting right next to it.
All right, boys. Thank you very much. This was a fun one.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank us.
Podcadzo.
Good night.
Good night.
It's podcadzo.